Hi guys and welcome. My name is Elena and I'm here with
Liza.
And today we'll be making fun, healthy Super Bowl snacks that you and your family can enjoy and binge on.
Absolutely.
Guilty free.
Guilty free. We hope you enjoy them.
We'll be starting off with creating a healthy vegetable sushi.
And we'll also be making this Mooch popcorn. Absolutely delicious, full of protein and B vitamins.
So stick around if you want to learn how to create these fun and super easy recipes.
But we're going to start today with vegetable sushi.
Sounds pretty good. So let's get started. If you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. So let's get started.
Awesome, great. So the one great thing about vegetarian or vegetable sushi is that really you could do anything with this. We're going to just make it very simply with some carrots, some avocado, and some cucumber. But you could add sprouts to this. You could add sliced broccoli. You could add whatever your favorite raw vegetable is, and you're welcome to add imitation crab if you like. But this is a great way to get vegetables into the kids' mouths if you want to get more vegetables with the kids. It's also a very healthy, wonderful dinner for a date if you want to impress your date.
Gotta get the sushi rolling.
Get the sushi rolling. So we're going to start with 1 cup of sushi rice. Sushi rice you can find in the grocery store, either in the Asian section or in the rice section. It's a short grain white rice, and we are going to rinse it very well. You can use a small colander with small holes, or you can use a cotton or lint-free tea towel if you'd like. And that's in cold water. And what you're looking for is you're looking for the water that comes down underneath your rice to start running clear. Right now, and I know it's really hard to see, it's very cloudy. That's all that starch is coming out. You want to make sure your rice is good and clean. If there are any stones in there, pick out any stones. Sometimes that does happen. You want to put your rice into cold water on the stove, about 1.5 cups. It's 1 cup of sushi rice and about 1.5 cups of water. So we've just put our sushi rice into the water, into the cold water, and we're bringing that up to a boil, and we're going to boil that for about 10 minutes. Not a heavy hard boil, but a nice rolling hard simmer or light boil. Okay, we have about 1 tablespoon or so of sugar.
Sugar.
1/2 teaspoon of salt. Kosher salt is always best.
What's the difference between kosher salt and normal salt?
Table salt usually has iodine mixed in with it. It's also a much smaller grain. I prefer to cook with kosher salt. I think that it has a lighter, brighter flavor. You can actually use less kosher salt because it has more flavor than regular table salt.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
And about 2 tablespoons worth of a rice vinegar, not a rice wine vinegar. And we're going to set this aside. It is ready. This is a sweet and tangy mixture. And this sweet and tangy mixture, when the rice is finished, is going to go over the rice, and we're going to mix it all the way through. And that creates a slight stickiness that we want for our sushi rice, and it gives that wonderful oriental flavor that you love about sushi rice. So the sugar that's in this mixture is what causes that wonderful stickiness. Now, if we needed to keep this warm, we would cover it with a towel to absorb a lot of that steam so it doesn't overcook, and we would put our lid back on. But we're going to use this very quickly, so we want it to cool down. So we're going to continue to mix it until it cools down enough that we can handle it with our hand.
Oh yeah, it does.
It's good.
Yeah.
Kind of by itself.
Yeah.
But now you see part of what makes sushi taste so good is the rice itself.
As far as like the carb-wise with the rice.
So in terms of low carb, this would not be a low carb option.
Okay.
This option is a matter of getting more vegetables into your life. It's a healthy, easy to make, fun to make option. It's great for kids. Kids love this, and it's a way to introduce vegetables, and it's also a way for kids to introduce to them the international flavors, Asian flavors. Asian textures because they're going to be trying a little bit of that seaweed as well. So when you are introducing kids to flavors to develop their palate, this is a perfect way of doing that. Do the vegetables for the sushi.
And you want to slice the green part off just like so. And you've created a nice cube right here. Slice depending on your cucumber, and if you can get a whole nother slice, about 1/8 of an inch thick. And this is the center of the cucumber, and this you can get rid of. You don't need that. And set them aside, just like that. That's what you want.
All right, so this is the sushi nori that we're using. And we're gonna place that down. I know it's hard to tell on the camera, but I'm gonna show Elena here. You can see that it's already scored. Do you see how it's already scored? Yeah. That kind of tells you where you wanna slice that later once it's in a roll. But honestly, I have a hard time seeing that. But it's nice to know that it's there. Yep. So you're gonna put that towards you with most of the lines facing horizontally. So going across like that. And you want to wet your fingers because you're dealing with some sticky rice. And you can put your rice directly onto, and I'm wetting again, your seaweed. And just keep wetting your fingers, and you want to work that into the bottom 2/3. A nice little even layer, and about 1/4 of an inch.
Carrots, cucumber.
A little bit of cucumber. Make sure that all of your vegetables are facing in the same direction. Otherwise, you're going to end up with holes in your sushi.
You don't want that.
And you don't want that because your vegetables will poke through, like so. And we're going to cut open our avocado now. You want to prep your avocado, but not too far ahead because it will go brown very quickly. You're literally going to tuck it like so.
Tucking it in.
Tucking it in. And you can tuck in the sides as well. Any of these carrots or any vegetables that want to go wonky the other way, you just watch very carefully.
To make sure
So Elena is turning her sushi so that the lines are horizontal facing her.
You could definitely feel the difference with like the sticky rice versus like
regular
rice. I tend to use a lot of jasmine rice.
Oh, jasmine rice is delicious.
And the same direction, correct?
Same direction. You want them to be horizontal, all of your carrots, all of your cucumbers.
In the sushi roll.
It's actually less per roll than you think. You don't need to pile it at all. You just want to have a little bit. And then you want to putting it in the bottom 1/3 and making sure that it's an even layer and we're just going to evenly distribute some slices of avocado right on top. You're going to just very carefully sort of tuck your vegetables in and start rolling. And use your fingers to tuck your vegetables in.
I use this one.
Yep. Okay. And tuck your veggies. You got it.
Nice. Now make sure your seaweed is starting to curl over the top to make that roll. You're good.
I think so.
Tucking. Keep going. And at one point, you should be able to just pull the bamboo straight out. If anything starts squirting out the side, just tuck it back in with your fingers. Take a look at your log. Look how beautifully neat that is. Look at that.
That's
go ahead and unroll.
Time.
So now that you have your log, you want to make sure that it's going to be nice and tight and firm. So go ahead and
tightly squeeze while you continue rolling all the way. Roll it all the way up.
And what this step does is allow the seaweed to become moist with the moisture from the rice, and that causes it to stick solidly to itself, and it creates that nice solid roll. And now you can unroll it And you should be able to lift your roll up without fear of anything falling apart. Yay, Elena!
My first sushi roll.
Nice, great job.
Thank you.
In order to cut our sushi, you want to take your knife, dip it in a little bit of the water because you certainly don't want anything to stick to it. And then we're going to dip it in our water. And you start in the center. And you can sort of vaguely see where those lines are.
Yeah.
Actually slice up broccoli, raw cauliflower, whatever your favorite vegetables are. It's not uncommon to see a nice steamed asparagus, maybe just an al dente asparagus in there as well. So here we have our first roll of 6. Woohoo! Perfect. And slice back and forth.
Beautiful. Elena, she's awesome.
I'm making those slices, the sushi rolls.
And the more practice that you get with this, the better you get with this. You can leave that just that size. Okay. That's perfect.
All right.
It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be professional looking, but you turn your slices right side up.
Like anything, it takes practice.
Absolutely takes practice.
But it's fun. I like it.
I'm going to go ahead and you can make it pretty. And that we can put in the center. And we're going to augment those. How beautiful is that? Here, you can take a little bit of your wasabi, which is already going up my nose. I'm so looking forward to this. And you can put a little wasabi in. Okay, a little bit of your pickled ginger. And if you're like me, I can eat a lot of pickled ginger.
I can eat a lot of sushi.
I can eat a lot of sushi too. I want to start with your ginger. Why? Because you want to clean your palate. The ginger allows your palate to completely prepare itself for the sushi. So you clean your palate every bite or every couple of bites. I like to use tamari instead of soy sauce because it still has soy in it, but it's a different process altogether, so it is gluten-free.
Okay. With this, because I've never tried this.
First sushi that we've made.
Yes.
I'm gonna try it with.
Oh, and I'm still eating it. The rice.
Yay.
The rice is really, really good. Like vegetables, I love vegetables. Carrots are my thing. I love carrots.
Yes.
But the rice is what gives it.
It's the
like
rice.
you said.
You're so right. Now here's something. If you wanted to add a little bit more protein, and I'm going to move this over here so you can see.
You could take a little bit of toasted sesame seeds.
Okay.
And you could dip your sushi into the toasted sesame seeds.
Yep. She's a totally different flavor profile.
I like it.
You like it with the sesame seeds?
You could taste it, like not too overpowering, but it's
And
good. It gives
so
it like a
simple.
crunch, kind of too.
Yeah.
And that adds a little bit of protein, and that certainly helps with the fact that you are eating rice, you are eating carbs.
Now, here are some suggestions. If you are interested in really getting into this and going a little bit fancy, and you are watching your carbs, consider using quinoa. You could use a cooked quinoa instead of rice, and you would do the same thing with the rice vinegar, with the sugar, and a little bit of the salt. Now, it's not going to completely reduce your carbs, but it ups the protein. Quinoa is definitely excellent for low-carb lifestyles, and it would be just as good. It would just be a different texture.
I'm gonna try with quinoa.
Sweet.
Would it still work out though with the whole process of rolling it and everything else? The quinoa will still work out with the rolling?
That's a great question. It will still be sticky, but because quinoa is just a little bit smaller in size, you may have a little bit more rolling out the side. You wouldn't make it as thick. You would do a slightly thinner layer.
Okay.
But you would play with it. I mean, it's all a matter of having fun. This is so awesome to put out for Super Bowl. It's a very healthy option. If you're there watching the game with friends or family and there's kids around, I mean, this is just a much better choice than some of the other things, fried things that we're putting out for Super Bowl.
A fun Super Bowl snack that you can enjoy if you're trying to be healthy, but also trying to enjoy the game and some foods to binge on.
Mooch is nutritional yeast, and it's a fun sort of name to call it as Mooch, but it's really nutritional yeast. It's very healthy for you. It's packed with protein and tons of B vitamins, so it's a great consideration. Vegans will use nutritional yeast to substitute for cheese. It kind of has that Parmesan taste to it. It's amazing. It's so delicious and so good for you. So what you want to start with is just plain popcorn. You don't have to use microwavable. You can air pop it, whatever you want to do, but just start with plain, simple plain popcorn, okay? And we're going to put that into a pot. This popcorn is still good and warm, so really not too much of the,
Okay.
Yep, that's perfect.
Just dump it in there.
Yep, just put it in there, and you can use your finger if you need to slide it off. And that coconut oil is going to melt very, very quickly. It has a very low melting point, so even if your popcorn is just kind of slightly warm, it's still going to melt the coconut oil. And you only need, Elena, about 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, not a whole lot.
Okay.
And in fact, if you don't want to use the salt at all, this is kosher salt, you don't have to. Nutritional yeast is packed with flavor. And we're going to use about 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast. It looks like garlic cheese powder,
Yes,
those
the
flavored
powder,
powders
yes.
that you put on your popcorn anyway. Now here's the fun part. So you just put your lid on like that, and you shake, shake, shake. Elena, down if you need to, and back side up. Just hold that lid on, girl. Elena, you want to take a bite?
Yes, this is my first time trying this. I like
Packed
it.
with B vitamins and protein, your
I
popcorn.
can like eat all of this.
Can you imagine? What a great Super Bowl snack.
I'm gonna sneak this in the movie theater.
I'll be right behind you.
This is amazing.
Love it, guys. So simple.
And healthy.
Unhealthy.
Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more fun and easy recipes that we'll be creating for you. Liza, if you want to give them your information of where they can follow you.
Wonderful. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Locally Seasoned Liza. And where can we find you, Elenita?
You can find me on Instagram at Elenitasjourney or on my website, elenitasbodyconfidence.com.
She's awesome.
Thanks, guys.